Hi, my name is James Batchelor Gilbert. I'm a staff scientist here at Science North, and I'm here to talk to you about species at risk. Now, when we think of endangered or threatened species, a number of animals come to mind. We think of pandas, we think of orangutans. Now, as much as these animals are endangered and certainly need our protection, there are over 190 different species at risk that live in Ontario alone. Now, not a lot of people know about this. That's a lot of animals that are reaching extinction right now in Ontario, and one of these groups are turtles. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about some Ontario turtles. Now in Ontario there are 8 different species of turtle. 7 of them are species at risk. That means they're either endangered or threatened or a species of special concern. And because they live in Ontario and they're declining so quickly here, it's up to us Ontarians to actually step up to the plate and protect these species before they reach the brink. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, you know, like, oh my goodness, like this is terrible. We need to protect these animals. What's their threats? Well, there's a couple of major threats facing turtles. One of them is habitat destruction. This is when we actually destroy certain aspects of the ecosystem for our buildings, either draining wetlands or even the construction of roads or blasting, or when we just pave over paradise to put up a parking lot. Another cause of turtle decline in the wild is collection for pets. You never want to take a wild animal out of the wild and bring it into your house. And the collection of wild turtles as pets has led to their decline across the province. If you're out for a walk in the lovely woods, you would never want to. Oh, hey little fella, I'm gonna take you home and put you in a tank and care for you and love you and name you Turtle McTurtleson, and you'll never have to worry about the wild again. But one of the major factors affecting turtles across the province is cars and roads. Every year, thousands and thousands of turtles are hit and killed. Now this road mortality has led to a steady decline of turtles across the province. The fact of the matter is, turtles have a very interesting life history. When they're hatchlings or eggs, it's highly unlikely that they'll survive. Either they'll be eaten as an egg or within those first few years by a gauntlet of predators. But if they are able, if they're the small percentage that can reach this adult size, they're supposed to be indestructible and able to live for decades, possibly even centuries. Now the reason they live this long is because they have to produce so many eggs throughout their entire life because they know that the offspring is unlikely to make it. So by laying hundreds of eggs and only 4% of them making it, that they're able to keep their population stable. The problem is when roads come in. Roads prevent adults from living that huge long lifespan and laying all of those eggs. So what this means is it's up to us to protect those adult turtles from being hit on the roads, and that's the best way that we can prevent them from declining as a species. As you travel across the province, our roads go through a lot of different habitats and ecosystems. Now, many of the animals that live in these habitats and ecosystems can either survive crossing the road or their populations can survive certain road mortality. But turtles are different, and that's why they need our help. That's why scientists and the government have worked together to design eco-passages that allow turtles to get to the other side safely. Now there's many ways that people can protect turtles other than just eco-passages and wildlife crossings. Any individual person, when they're driving across the roads of Ontario, can keep their eyes peeled for turtles. For example, if you're driving across Ontario and you happen to come across a Blandings turtle, you can reach down and pick it up and help it across the road. By moving this animal in the direction it's heading, you can in fact save a species at risk. Now in front of me down here, I have a Blandings turtle. Now this little girl is sitting here right beside the curb. And if I wanted to help her across the road, all I would need to do is lean down, pick her up just like this, right? Now the worst thing she's gonna do is she might claw you a little bit, but she could also pee on you. But that's really not a problem because frankly, you're saving a species at risk. A little bit of pee won't hurt you at all. And all you need to do is move her across the road in the way that she's going and she'll be happy and safe. Now not all turtles are as easy to handle as the Blandings turtle or the painted turtle. In Ontario, we do have snapping turtles, and these are our largest freshwater species, and they have a powerful bite. Nevertheless, they still are a species at risk and need our help. If you happen to see a snapping turtle on the road, there's a couple of cool tricks that you can use to help get them out of harm's way. Now, one of them is by just picking up the back end of her shell and walking her across the road like a wheelbarrow. This will help her get across the road without stressing her out too much. Another way is you can actually lift the turtle up by the back of the shell like this. You certainly don't want to put your hands anywhere near the front half because you wouldn't want to get bitten by a snapping turtle, but holding up by the back half is still pretty safe. Another trick that you could use is actually just waving a stick in the turtle's face. That turtle might bite on the stick, and if that happens, you can now drag the turtle to safety at a nice stick's length away from that face. My name is James Baxter Gilbert. Thank you very much for listening to me about turtles, and good luck saving some.